Hello, welcome to INFOHUB Recap, where we focus on the top issues for the past week. In our headlines, President commissions Bartic's Golden Beach Development Project. Prime Minister Nagamutu returns home. Opposition Chief Whip scolded on Exxon's agreement with government. Attorney-at-Law Nigel Hughes testifies at Lindo Creek COI, and Legwan gets ICT Hub. Stay tuned for the details of these and more.
Here's an important message from the Ministry of Finance and the Guyana Revenue Authority.
If you've never filed or paid your taxes, or have deliberately not declared your true income, and now you're worried that you'll be audited by the Guyana Revenue Authority, I have good news for you.
The Ministry of Finance has announced a tax amnesty effective January 1 to September 30, 2018.
So you can now pay all your outstanding income, property, corporate, withholding, and capital gains taxes and get right with the GRA. Visit their office or call them at 227-6060, extension 1201 or 1204 today.
Invest in your country. Pay your taxes.
We begin the news with a report from Tiffany Rogers, who was in Bartica over the Easter weekend for the regatta festivities, where President David Granger commissioned the Golden Beach Development Project.
Mayor Gifford Marshall said the project is part of Bartica's Green Town initiative.
All the lights are powered by PV panels, and of course the entire design and the architectural work incorporates our green policies and where we're going in the future. So this serves as a model not only for other towns, but for other parts within this township of Bartica.
The project costs some $40 million and includes a boardwalk with stalls and seating overlooking the Golden Avenue Beach, which is located at 3rd Avenue, Bartica. President David Granger commended the township for their clean and green initiative at the opening of the Regatta Powerboat events on Sunday.
Mayor Marshall and his deputy Kamal set out to make Bartica a clean, green and safe town, and they are well on the way to achieving that objective. This is a model, and I wish that every other town, at Mabaruma, at Lethem, at Madia, New Amsterdam, Linden, all of the towns, all of the capital towns in Guyana should emulate this example.
Mayor Marshall said the town council will be expanding the Golden Beach Development Project in the coming years. For INFOHUB, Tiffany Rogers.
A prayer breakfast was held to welcome home Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu, who returned after recuperating in the U.S. following a successful heart bypass surgery. Gabriela Patram was there and filed this report.
Hosted at the PM's residence, the prayer breakfast was attended by President David Granger, First Lady Ms. Rysandra Granger, Ministers of the Government, Family and Friends, Minister of Social Protection Amna Ali, Minister of Public Security Kamraj Ramjatan, and Minister of Natural Resources Raphael Trotman all expressed pleasure at the PM's return and recommitted to ensuring that his health and well-being are a top priority for the government.
Prime Minister, I want to say to you that you've got to take it one day at a time. We love you. We treasure we treasure you. And we want to have you for a long, long time.
The advantages of having you in our midst, Moses, the fact of having such erudite remarks forthcoming in Parliament and Cabinet, at our AFC meetings, Management Committee and National Executive, is an extraordinary thing.
We welcome you back. We look forward to your presence in the house. And we say to your wife and family, we know that we have a duty to take care of him, and we will not let you down.
Prayers were offered up for the Prime Minister and family by Reverend John O. Smith, Shayak Mohil Haq, and Pandit Chitram Puran. The Prime Minister, accompanied by his wife, Ms. Rosita Nagamutu, and their eldest daughter, Maria Nagamutu, arrived at the Chedi Jagan International Airport at 7:10 this morning. In February, a routine medical examination done in Guyana revealed that the Prime Minister had some cardiac issues and had to undergo the heart bypass surgery at a medical institution in the USA. Following the successful surgery, he spent recovery time at his family's residence. Gabriela Patram for INFOHUB.
Minister of Business Dominic Gaskin, during a meeting of the Parliamentary Sectoral Committee on Foreign Affairs, corrected Member of Parliament and Opposition Chief Whip Gilda Shearer that her government had, in fact, signed a production sharing agreement with ExxonMobil and partners in 1999. Details in this Zenil Williams report.
Business Minister Dominic Gaskin, during the meeting of the Parliamentary Sectorial Committee on Foreign Affairs, set the record straight that the PPP government had signed a production sharing agreement and not an exploration agreement as contended by MP and Chief Whip Gail Teixeira. A feisty exchange ensued after when Minister Gaskin pointed to the terms of the present agreement as opposed to what was signed in 1999 under the PPP government.
If you look at the agreement signed in 1999, it says specifically, this is a production sharing agreement.
No, we didn't have the law at the time.
I can show you the words written in the agreement signed by President Janet Jagan in 1999,
okay, go
and
ahead.
it states specifically,
and there was
this
no oil.
is a 1999 sharing
when
agreement.
Was oil
the government undertook a review of the 1999 contract in 2016. Minister of Natural Resources Raphael Trotman has repeatedly pointed out that the government wishes to honor the sanctity of the agreement signed in 1999, hence the limited modifications of the contract. Meanwhile, in response to a question posed by opposition MP Nigel Darmwell, Minister Gaskin assured that the indigenous population will not be disadvantaged by the president's commitment to set aside forest for conservation.
The whole concept of a green state places value on conservation or preservation, and so we're not looking at protected areas as areas where there is or there will be no economic development. We're looking at protected areas as areas that come under a special regime which ensures the sustainable use of those lands.
In April of 2016, at the historic signing of the Paris Agreement in New York, President David Granger committed to conserving 2 million hectares of forest, among other steps. Zenil Williams for INFOHUB.
INFOHUB Seneca Thorne now tells us that Minister of Public Security Kenraj Ramjatan has stated he will support the police's version of the Seawall shooting until the findings of a coroner's inquest are revealed.
Asked by the local media to explain his support of the police in the incident, the minister said,
simply because that's what you normally do. When there is an investigation as to a murder, what do you expect me to do? The police, you question the police investigation? You do not.
Minister Ramjatan noted that a responsible government will attach credibility and reliability on its police investigators.
Unless there's something so badly done or so egregious that you're going to question the police immediately.
On March 15, Dexter Curtis, Kwame Asana, and Errol Adams were shot and killed by police after an alleged shootout on the Seawall Road in Georgetown. Police say the exchange occurred following an intelligence-led operation to address the robberies of persons conducting transactions at banks. The men were trailed from a city bank. An eyewitness has since come forward, but doubt has been cast on his credibility. Minister Ramjatan said his support is behind the police, given their credibility and reliability.
I don't want to go further, but these matters can have a way with them and so on. But the trouble is, the coroner's inquest is going to find out even better, because there can be the witnesses being called there, and I hope that the coroner, being the kind of investigator, they're not going to be afraid to come forward. All those witnesses who are allegedly eyewitnesses to the actual incident.
Following a meeting of the National Security Committee, President David Granger ordered that the Guyana Police Force launch an investigation to determine the circumstances under which the suspects were shot and killed. Seneca Thorne for INFOHUB.
As the Lindo Creek COI resumed this week, Attorney-at-Law Nigel Hughes testified that information he received indicated that ex-policeman Yuri Varswick, now deceased, was present at Lindo Creek in June of 2008. Isaiah Braffett was at the hearing and filed this report.
Attorney-at-Law Nigel Hughes, who was hired to represent the families of the deceased, said that a source relayed pertinent information that placed ex-police officer Yuri Varswick at the Lindo Creek in June 2008. Varswick, who was known for his criminal background, was shot and killed by the Guyana Police Force in September of 2017. The ex-cop was considered to be the most dangerous of the escapees.
He was part of the squad that went in. There was a squad that went in under the command.
Or army?
Mr. Varsik was police, and he was under the command of a current serving member of the Guyana Police Force that went into Lindo Creek. That's the information that I've been permitted to release from a client.
Commissioner, retired Justice Donald Trotman, then questioned the attorney at law if he can disclose the name of the person who relayed information to him.
If that gentleman passes away, it would be on my shoulders, and I really am not in a position to provide him with the comfort that I can provide him with that guarantee. I've actually had a whistleblower take him to the police who ended up dead, that's George Bacchus. So I am extremely reluctant to disclose any information on anybody that can identify a serving member of the police force, given my actual experience. Because I took Mr. Bacchus to the American Embassy, I then took him to the Guyana Police Force, and Mr. Bacchus ended up dead.
Hughes also indicated that relatives of the deceased at the time had lost confidence in the investigation being conducted by the Guyana Police Force. He also said that a private investigation into the matter was sought but fell through due to the lack of cooperation by the Guyana Police Force. The Lindo Creek COI has been established to investigate and report its findings and recommendations on all matters in relation to the killings of the 8 miners in the Upper Demerara, Upper Berbice region on or about the 21st day of June 2008. Isaiah Braffett, INFOHUB.
Minister of Business Dominic Gaskin has advised Guyanese to ignore the doom and gloom reports being peddled about in the oil and gas sector and instead focus on the positive benefits this evolving industry will bring to the country. Sanika joins us again.
There's a lot of doom and gloom about what Guyana isn't getting, but the truth is what Guyana is getting is what we should be focused on. And that is why I've been making a lot of comments recently against those who seem bent on killing the spirit of the people of this country or killing the hopes of the people of this country when it comes to oil and gas.
He said that Guyana's oil and gas wealth is so vast that it can help the country to transform those other industries that need a boost.
Government revenues will increase considerably once oil starts to flow. And it's not that we're sitting back and waiting for that to happen. There are other things that are happening, but the oil and gas development is so big and it will make such an impact that we cannot ignore that impact and we cannot not prepare ourselves for it. It will transform our economy, and we, the people of Guyana, who own the oil and who own all the other natural resources, need to find a way to benefit from those developments.
Minister Gaskin explained that the revenues Guyana will receive in terms of the size of the population per capita are among the highest in the world. He warned that it is extremely important that Guyanese approach the issue with a positive mindset, knowing that better is to come and realizing that they are the beneficiaries of what lies ahead. Seneca Thorne for INFOHUB.
Major infrastructural projects are to be undertaken to improve the healthcare system in Region 6. Delicia Haynes has the details.
In keeping with the administration's promise, the budgeted works are aimed at improving the healthcare system for the residents of East Berbice Quarantine. Regional Executive Officer Kim Williams-Stephen explains.
The transformation that we have in place for 2018, and we have the construction of a new maternity ward. You know, the issue of the child care unit, right? And so the administration would have thought it fit in to invest in such of a project.
The works to be done in 2018 are in addition to those which have started in the previous year.
We have the construction of another health center, right? In fact, in 2017, we would have done one at number 76 Village, right? And in the 2018 budget, another health center is to be constructed.
$132.5 million have been approved in the 2018 budget for the region's capital spending in the health sector. Are the provision for the operating theater, outpatient building, a maternity ward, living quarters, and payment of retention. For INFOHUB, Delicia Haynes.
Minister of Public Security Cameron Ramjatan says there is need for more evidence-based policies on the fight against illicit drug use and trafficking. Stefan Gabriel explains.
The charge was given by Minister of Public Security Cameron Ramjatan at the opening of a two-day regional seminar for national drug observatories in the Caribbean.
If it is one thing that we would like, or I would like to see coming out of this seminar, is your emphasis on evidence-based, data-driven policies and practices. It is what is going to get us places.
The seminar is being facilitated in partnership with CARICOM and the European Union, also the Organization of American States. According to the OAS representative to Guyana, Jean-Rico Dormio, discussions will focus on the recently completed household prevalence drug surveys. The seminar will also see the formulation of a research agenda for the next 2 years.
This seminar will further stimulate the improvement of our tool set. Consequently, national drug observatories will support more effectively our country's anti-drug policies and programs.
Also addressing the participants at the seminar, Chargé d'Affaires of the U.S. Embassy in Guyana, Terry Steers-Gonzalez, expressed that drug observatories play a crucial role in stemming the tide of drug use in the Caribbean.
Your being here shows true political will and commitment by your governments. It is why my government counts yours as real partners in the fight against illicit drugs and trafficking. Only by working together can we combat this scourge, this cancer.
Technical experts and policymakers from 13 Caribbean countries are participating in the seminar. It is another step in a series of initiatives that sees the government collaborating with several stakeholders to holistically address the trade of illicit drugs. To date, there have been several local and international training seminars for the relevant personnel. The administration has crafted the National Drug Strategy Master Plan 2016 to 2020, and a DEA office has officially been established. For INFOHUB, Stefan Gabriel.
Members of the government were recognized for their contributions. President David Granger received the St. John International emblem, which is of historical significance and symbolizes several attributes including fortitude, prudence, and temperance, among others.
Accepting the insignia at a simple ceremony at State House, President David Granger expressed confidence that the work of the association will spread across Guyana.
It is quite clear that this government is moving on a certain trajectory. I don't see the association as a Georgetown association. I see it as a national association. And I've asked the council, I've asked the association to ensure that it walks step by step with the government.
Chairman of St. John Association Guyana, Dr. Vibert Parvatan, said the association is proud to present President Granger with the emblem.
We hope that there may be opportunities for President Granger to wear this emblem. For whenever we see him wearing it, it will bring for us at St. John a sense of pride, happiness, and thanks.
President Granger accepted the role as a patron of the association in September 2016. The St. John Association of Guyana is a vibrant humanitarian voluntary organization providing quality first aid training services and health care to communities. Renetta LaFleur for InfoHub.
Minister of Social Protection Amna Ali was awarded the International Leadership Award for her dedication and sterling advocacy for women's rights and human rights. The award gala was hosted by the United Bridge Builders Mission Incorporated at the Guyana Marriott Hotel. Crystal Stull was there and filed this report.
I must say that I am happy that the work that I have been doing for the advocacy of women's rights has been recognized by the UBBM.
Minister Ali noted the award has encouraged her to continue serving members of the public, in particular women. She said the award is a significant honor, especially in view of the fact that the organization is involved in the fight for women's rights as well.
I'm happy more so for the organization and the kind of work that they are doing, not only for women's rights, but for suicide, for HIV/AIDS, and as we know, it's a non-profit organization, and I believe that the work that they have been doing has been a good.
Minister Ali assured that her ministry will continue to work assiduously to establish gender equality across Guyana. She added this will only be accomplished through collaboration and called for further partnering of organizations and the Ministry of Social Protection to achieve this goal. Earlier this month, Minister Ali represented the CARICOM region at the United Nations 62nd session of the Commission of the Status of Women. Crystal Stahl for InfoHub.
A Linden resident and agro-business owner is pushing agricultural development and a buy local campaign in the Region 10 community with his Fresh from the West line of vegetables. Stefan joins us again.
Piers Eiffel says his mission is to promote self-sufficiency in food. He is also encouraging Linden residents to spend their monies in the community since it will aid in the economic development of the mining town.
Fresh from the West. Name and nature. It's fresh and it's from West Watuka, Linden.
Despite being around for about 5 years, Eiffel says his business is now experiencing positive growth and currently employs 7 persons.
Persons hasn't seen farming or agriculture in Linden as something that is, let me say, would take you to a higher level. But because I take farming as a business perspective, I learned that farming is a business like any other business, right? That's the reason why you see I'm gaining momentum and climbing heights in the town of Linden.
Eiffel says while drainage is adequate in the West Watuka area, the challenge lies in irrigation, especially during the dry season. This, he says, is soon to be addressed by the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, NDIA.
From what I understand, works will be it's supposed to start very soon in setting the irrigation system in place, from what I've understood. But in the meanwhile, I've put system in place.
The Fresh from the West brand provides customers with a line of quality vegetables, including tomatoes, lettuce, cabbage, and bora, every day of the week at Eiffel's Boot, located at Pine Street and Potato Road in Linden. For InfoHub, Stefan Gabriel.
The National Data Management Authority, which falls under the purview of the Ministry of Public Telecommunications, officially opened yet another ICT hub, this time on the island of Leguan in the Essequibo River. Stacey Carmichael was there and filed this report.
Housed at the Leguan Community Center, the ICT Hub is equipped with 15 laptop computers, which will be accessible to the public. This brings the total number of community ICT hubs across the country to 110. A target of at least 190 ICT hubs has been set for 2018. Minister of Public Telecommunications Catherine Hughes said this is in keeping with the government's commitment of ensuring all citizens have access to information and communications technology. She pointed out that access to the internet can help all members of the community, particularly students and other persons engaged in academic pursuits.
Whether you're a student, whether you are a woman starting a business, whether you are a mechanic that is providing repair services for automobiles or for cars, and you want to know how to fix a particular model of a car, or you want to research a problem. If you have health issues and you want to understand what is wrong, what the questions you could ask a doctor when you go to visit, the internet and the wide body of information on the internet allows you to develop as a person and to educate yourself.
Director Community Development and Social Management Philip Walcott commended all those who partnered with the authority to bring the hub to realization in just a few months.
So in my brief remarks, I want to congratulate you on working to make your workstation, make your hub operational. We are, of course, happy to have provided the support.
The Community ICT Hubs project was conceptualized as an effort of the Government of Guyana e-government program to provide ICT services to all citizens. The project focuses on advancing human development and empowerment and community development through community-based organizations. For InfoHub, Stacey Carmichael.
Thousands of Guyanese are filled with long-lasting memories as the curtains came down on the Easter weekend celebrations. We end this news with a look back at the holiday activities.
From the Georgetown coast to the Quarantine to the Rupununi West to Bartica, there were activities for all. In Lethem, patrons at the Rupununi Ranchers Rodeo were treated to cow milking, calf and sheep roping, bronco busting, bull riding and line dancing. Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, Sydney Allicock, spoke of the importance of promoting such an annual event.
I'd like to also assure you that the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs will continue to support the activity because we believe in it. The government will give you the support.
There's no other place in the world that does things like this. I mean, there are in Brazil, but this is unique because it's, I don't know, remote, the aura of it. It's like 100-years-old aura.
The Bartica Easter Regatta featured a variety of water sport competitions, including powerboat racing, jet skiing, and canoe racing. This year's regatta was considered one of the biggest in recent times.
We've seen a vast increase in the persons attending regatta this year. As a matter of fact, a boat cruise is on its way. It will be here shortly with 1,400 persons. So the hype, of course, is there, and this is turning out to be one of the biggest regattas we've ever had. And like I said, it bears fruit that once we work together, right, we will get great success, and that's what we have to continue to do in the future.
Despite the inclement weather on the coast, spirits were high and kites winged their way into the skies over the long holiday weekend. On Easter Monday, scores of persons lined the number 63 beach, Jovera Park, National Park, and the Seawalls.
It's exciting to come on the beach on Easter Monday because it's a good reason. Christ is risen, and he's risen indeed.
We're enjoying it in spite of the rainy weather, so to speak.
Although traditionally a Christian holiday, Easter in Guyana is steeped in rich traditional practices and is celebrated by all. For InfoHub, Letitia Isaacs.
That brings us to the end of another edition of InfoHub Recap. Thanks for watching. Please join us again next week.
Paying the right amount of tax helps provide a good credit rating. A good credit rating is a requirement for getting financing.
You can use your good credit rating to get loans to expand your business, buy a house or car, or pay for your university tuition.
Take advantage of the tax amnesty and pay no interest or penalties from now to June 30.
Invest in yourself. Pay your taxes. A message from the Ministry of Finance and the Guyana Revenue Authority.